First of all, Jim, how is the squad? Obviously had a couple of weeks, so I guess those that were carrying knocks or injuries should be returning.
Yeah, we've still got one or two of them. We've picked up one in the last game, and we've had one during training as well, which we're trying to manage through. So it's been a little bit, seems to be all in a similar position as well, unfortunately. But we've got one or two back. Liam Kelly's making good progress. He's been the one who's been out the longest. He's back on the grass now, and Tav Campbell as well. Obviously, he's been out even longer again, I should say. Not really featured for us, but you know, they're both doing little bits now, so they're not medium term, or in Tav's case long term. They're both in the short term now, and I should imagine they'll both be back quite soon. As I say, one or two other little bits and pieces, but apart from that, it's just been getting through this little bit of a mad spell with regards to the games, the way they fell, and obviously the weather that we've had to encounter recently.
Just on Kelly and Tav, are the Boxing Day game, is that going to come too soon for them then?
Tav's, obviously, we've got to look after him. He's had this issue since I've come to the club. We got him back, he wasn't 100%. I think he scored in the Liverpool game and the Papa John's, and then he come back out again. So he's probably going to be a little bit longer. He's got to get, you know, some conditioning work into him. Liam Kelly, well, Boxing Day probably it will be too early for him. As I say, we've got one or two other injuries, which probably, you know, that Boxing Day game will come too soon for them. But obviously it's a quick turnaround with the Doncaster game and then into the Barrow game on the 2nd. So there's plenty of football to be played, and the sooner we get them back, the better. Because knowing what this stage of the season's like, you do need your squad of full hit. We're missing one or two at the minute, but as I say, I don't think Boxing Day will be right for them, but I can't see it being too much longer after that.
Let's talk about fixture-wise. You've had a couple of weeks off due to the postponements of the weather. Have you, given how results have gone, perhaps, is that's a good thing? Is it that you've had 2-3 weeks uninterrupted on the training pitch, get your ideas across, get the players fully ready for, as you say, this charge that comes in the Christmas period?
I've been asked this before. My answer's always, I'll tell you at the end of the game come Boxing Day. You know, you don't know what's right, what's wrong. You just do what you think's best. You give it your all every day in training. You know, we're thorough in what we do. We picked the team for the Stockport game. You know, and the other game we've identified strengths and weaknesses in the opposition of both Bradford and Stockport, and we were looking forward to those games, but because of the weather that we've had, you know, that's it didn't allow them to go ahead. So all our focus now is on the next game, which is Hartlepool. It's a big game for us, big game for both clubs. Always has that added, you know, exit over Christmas, bigger crowd, everyone off work, etc. So it's a big game for us. We're looking forward to it, and that's what we've been gearing up to now. So again, because of the weather, we've spent a lot of time on the AstroTurf over the last couple of weeks over at Hyde. We've got back on grass for a little bit this week, and we've been flat out. We've had a couple of good days, you know, we've got a couple more leading up, and we'll do what we need to do to give ourselves every possible chance to win the game come 3 o'clock on Boxing Day. So whether it's been a good thing or a bad thing, only time will tell.
If we can just jump back to that Harrogate game, whatever's happened in your tenure so far, you've not lost by a big scoreline, and that came as a real surprise. Not only taking the lead and losing 4-1, but actually losing and conceding 4 goals and losing by a 3-goal margin. You've had time to reflect, had time to sort that out. Was there anything really damning about that game that you were concerned about?
Well, again, as you say, we've been in most games. I think we won 4 out of 5, something like that, and now we've probably won 1 or 2 out of the last 7, something like that. So, but in those games, you got Bristol Rovers, where I thought we were the better side. Walsall, you know, better side, just couldn't finish. You know, deserved something from the game. Sutton certainly second half with the better side, should have got something from the game. So we've been a little bit, not what I'd call hard luck, because it's not hard luck if you're not finishing the chances. We've been limiting the opposition to very little, and at the top end of the pitch we haven't scored enough goals. But the good thing from our point of view is that we've been creating those chances, and and hopefully by lower the percentages or one or two of the players coming back into a bit of form, you should start putting a few more in the back of the net and drawing or winning more games of football. So we were pretty pleased the way things are going, but obviously Harrogate was a disaster, you know, on the day. Certainly, as you say, after taking the lead, I think it was just one of them games where it got away from us, you know, quite quick. The goals come back to back quite quickly, and to be fair to them on the day, I think they played well. They changed the system completely, played with a diamond, which again, doing our due diligence and looking over them, they hadn't played a diamond for the previous 5 games, and looking back after the game, they hadn't really done it all season. So they've gone with that, and it's worked really well for them. You know, that's football. Sometimes it can work, sometimes it doesn't. But we didn't on the day, you know, solve the problem straight away in the first. I think we started well for the first 5 or so minutes, 10 minutes. We got the goal, and then after that was all them. But we got to grasp with it, and second half was just one of them showings where we went 2-1 down. Unbelievably poor defending. The goals that we conceded were shocking. And as I say, it just went one. We didn't reset. It went, you know, another goal, and it just caught us completely on the up. So I wasn't happy. I think for the next week we were in every day. There was no day off. We'd done a lot of work on the pitch. We'd done a lot of work on the analysis. We told a few home truths. It was uncomfortable for some of them viewing it, but that's my job, to make sure that we point these things out and we demand and expect better from them. We've had a bit of an upturn in results at certain times, but that is nowhere near acceptable, that performance, and in the manner in which we lost at home against one of the teams that are in and around us. It shouldn't happen, so it did. And what you got to do, you got to dust yourself down and pick the bones out of it, which we did. You know, as I say, there was no day off on the Wednesday. We were in flat out leading up to the next game. We'd done everything we needed to for the next game, but unfortunately that got called off. So we're still looking for that response. Ideally, you want a game, you know, to get it out your system. We haven't been able to do that, but we've done what we've needed to do and what we can do with weather permitting. And now we're looking forward to another big game. We've missed an opportunity, which has said to the players, something who were in and around us at the time. We got beat. Harrogate certainly in and around us. We got beat. You know, we're playing another side now in Hartlepool, right neck and neck with us. It's a big 6-point game for us, so we've got to be flat out, give it our absolute all, learn from, you know, what went wrong, certainly against the Harrogate. And at the other end, we've got to start taking some of the chances that we're creating. Not so much in the Harrogate game, because I didn't think we deserved anything from that game. So, but we are capable. You know, we've tried to be positive. They've trained well. You know, there's a good spirit amongst them. Just got to make sure when they go over that white line, we have a good goal and we try and win the game.
You've kind of stolen the question from me of how big is this game with Hartlepool. They are out of form, they are down the bottom, they are struggling this season, they are there for the taking. So obviously we're not quite in must-win territory yet, but we're close to it, aren't we, with this game?
I'd say so, yeah. You know, it's 20 games gone, 26 to go, but you can't just keep hoping that it's you know, we've got time on our hands. Reality's got to kick in. We're playing against a team that, you know, haven't had a good season like ourselves. They have had a good win last time out against Crawley. They have picked up 1 or 2 results since Keith Gale's gone in. Again, like every team, they've got players who can hurt you. They've got weaknesses, very much like ourselves. If we got some analysis done on ourselves, you can see where the weaknesses lie, where our strengths lie. And Hartlepool are no different. So it's a big game for both clubs. We're at home. It's, you know, the festive period, like I said before. There's no better time to win and try and put yourself a little bit of distance between the, you know, certainly Hartlepool and the other 2 teams who I think play each other as well on Boxing Day. So it's a big weekend for the bottom 4 sides. So I say weekend, get mixed up with my days. Big Boxing Day. But yeah, the games are coming thick and fast over the festive period. Opportunity to get points on the board, you know. But all our energies, all our focus is on Hartlepool at the minute. So, as you say, it is. It's one of them where you think, right, we've got to get something from this to give us a better chance of getting away from where we want to be. If we don't, obviously, yeah, there's still a lot of time. But the psychological effect of not winning again, losing against one of the teams in and around you. You know, it's you've got to deal with all that, which, as when you're involved in football, you want to make it easy for yourself. So got to work hard, got to do what we've got to do to try and get 3 points, which makes the next game, you know, a little bit less stressful, if you like.
What's on the Christmas wish list, Jim?
3 points come Boxing Day, without a doubt. I'd sacrifice the whole lot of Christmas, to be perfectly honest with you. If I get 3 points on Boxing Day, it's as simple as that.
Even the Christmas dinner?
No, it doesn't bother me. You could serve me anything on Christmas Day. You could do anything over Christmas. I'm not particularly bothered. My job is, as a football manager, to get a team out there to try and win games of football, and there'd be no better Christmas present for me than come quarter-5 on Boxing Day evening with 3 points against one of the teams in and around us. So it'll set us up nicely for a couple of days later against Doncaster. So, as I say, the games are coming thick and fast. Yeah, it's over the festive period, but when you're involved in football, it's nice Christmas. But the most important thing is that, you know, it's full on, you know, with regards to the programme, and everyone's off work, family coming around, all the other bits and pieces and the noise around Christmas. But we're professional football players and coaches and managers. At the end of the day, it's about winning games. So I would quite happily park a lot of it for the big 3 points on Boxing Day.